What's up, Raider Nation? We're back uh, here with you on Sunday night. Our Raiders got a big one coming up tomorrow against the Detroit Lions. Coming off a pretty bad loss against Chicago. I know we were pretty down bad after that loss in our last pod, but it's a new week and hopefully a new Raiders. They had just had a team meeting. Uh, Apparently, McDaniel said nothing is off limits, so we had our team captains go and address some of the issues that's going on. So hopefully we'll bounce back.
Yeah, and I think I don't even think we did a I don't even think we recorded since the preview of the Chicago game. I don't even think we did a preview for the Chicago game. I think we just kind of
No,
knew
we
it
didn't.
was going to be a trap game, and we haven't recorded in a while actually. I mean, we kind of knew that was going to be a trap game. I mean, we tend to lose to high school football coaches, and now we lost to a D2 Colorado School of Mines. Throws 5 picks against Colorado School of Mines in his last career game. D2 quarterback Tyson Bagent, who by the way got his ass handed to him today, by a decent team. And like, yeah, I mean, I don't think there was a need to record anything like until now. I mean, last week was just kind of out of like cut it out, right? They cut
Yeah.
it out of our head. Like bad loss. We have one bad loss, one or two bad losses every year. Like I remember in 2020, we lost to Atlanta by like 35. Like we went to Atlanta in the morning window, we lost by 35. Then in 21, it was the Giants game that we were like everyone had us winning. Like we were like 5-2 when we went to the Giants game, and the Rugs thing happened like the day after or something.
Yeah.
Like shit, like that. Oh yeah, it was the Rugs thing happened the day before, I believe, or it was like a few.
Yeah. We were coming out of the bye and then we got it wasn't that bad of a blowout. We just lost. But
Yeah,
like you said, coming off the Chicago game, like what do you even talk about? Like there's no reason to we just said, okay, we suck. That's all there is. And they got to make changes. I mean, look, it starts with the coach. I mean, schematically, it wasn't that he was making bad decisions during the game. It's just schematically he got out coached. And Pat Graham got out coached by Chicago, and our offense got out schemed. You saw what Justin Herbert did to the Bears defense. It's not like it's the 85 Bears defense. They're just their average run of the mill defense. And McDaniels couldn't move the ball with his handpicked quarterback Brian Hoyer, who he loves and praises and sticks by. So look, he's gotta schematically be better. The coach has to be better. And obviously Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be back. So it's not going to be Brian Hoyer missing wide open throws, wide open reads that he did. So I'm hoping Jimmy Garoppolo can play under control like he did against Denver week 1. If we get that Jimmy Garoppolo, I think our offense can move the ball, hopefully score 20 points for the first time all season, which we haven't done yet. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a tough test. I think Detroit's coming off a pretty bad loss against Baltimore. Um, yeah, they got beaten just as bad as we did, but they got a lot of talent on that team.
the difference is they lost to Lamar Jackson,
Yeah.
and we lost to Tyson Bagent. So I don't even think we can equivalate the losses. I don't think they're similar at all. Like I think, they came off a bad loss, but they came off a bad loss to a really good team. We came
Yeah.
off a bad loss to the worst team in the NFL. So I mean, this whole, I read the report, like they had the team meeting and the captains addressed and nothing was off limits. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit, and we're gonna see the same old Raiders on the field on Monday. I mean, it's not gonna change anything. Josh McDaniels is a lost cause. Nothing's gonna change. He's lost the locker room. He's not gonna just one meeting is not gonna just get it back. They're all gonna be hyped. Probably Brandon Bolden was probably one of the guys like talking in the den, saying like, "Oh, we got to work together." Guy who doesn't even see the field anymore. So I really think it's all a crock of shit. It's
Yeah.
really a crock of shit. And this week coming up, like not even like we didn't even recap the Bears game, so that's why I keep going back to it. Like, I mean, once they announced Brian Hoyer was a starter, it was over. I mean, there's no chance they didn't have a chance to win a game with Brian Hoyer. I mean, he played a half against New England and he sucked. He was okay, like completed a few passes here and there, nice dime to Trey Tucker down the middle, 40 yards. But I mean, to play a whole game at that age, even his own kids were saying we wanted Aiden to start. Everyone
Yeah.
wanted in the start. And I think now Garoppolo is going to be good for another 2 games, maybe. And then Garoppolo's going to go down again. Then we're going to have to see what Aiden O'Connell's like, and then again. And then it's just going to be back and forth. Luckily, he won't be playing Khalil Mack again until later in the season. And off a short week, I would fully expect him to start that game. For some bullshit reason, Jimmy Garoppolo will get hurt. Thursday Night Football, Aiden O'Connell starts, Khalil Mack sacks him 6 times again. I mean, it's so predictable. Like this team is just really predictable now. And I think Josh McDaniels, he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, he wants to try to hold team meetings, yeah, sure. But look at the guy's press conferences, you
Yeah,
He says the same thing over and over. Like everyone knows. Like everyone knows what he's gonna. And yeah, he does. Everyone does know what he's gonna do because he's just predictable. He's a predictable coach. Run the ball up the gut 3 times and punt. Or do one play action in between and overthrow a wide open receiver. Because Jimmy can't throw the ball deep. Brian Hoyer sure as hell kept throwing these out routes that and led to a pick six. No one's gonna attack over the middle. No one looks to the tight ends. Like it's really bad. Like I don't think we even realize how bad it is. Like as a matter of fact,
yeah,
like it's really bad.
yeah. And like you said, I mean, as a passionate fan, I'm trying to just erase Chicago. Like, okay, it didn't happen, but the fact is, it did happen, right? Not even just Brian Hoyer, but our defense was absolutely terrible against what was the guy's name? Dante Foreman.
Yeah,
I don't.
Dante.
He was the third running back for the Chicago Bears, and he looked like he was prime Emmitt Smith out there, just carving us up, busting through lanes like 8 yards a pop every time.
Yeah,
And now Lions, I mean, David Montgomery's out, but they have this other rookie,
Jameer
Jamar
Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jamar Gibbs. They're going to unleash that guy, just like James Cook did against us. He just ran wild against us. And our run defense was decent. I mean, we were holding guys, but it wasn't steady. Like, look at the guys in the interior. It's just Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson with the first strip sack
yeah.
last week. But
Nathan
it's Max
Peterman
Crosby and yeah, it's Max Crosby and a bunch of nobodies on our defensive line, and Divine Diablo's out too.
out. Yeah,
So
I'm just gonna
our
say.
run defense is expect our run defense to be pretty. They're gonna get gashed out
I was
there.
just gonna say, just to make things worse, Diablo's out, so Spillane is gonna be wearing the green dot, and Luke Masterson is gonna come in on that west side. So now you're down a man. Luke Masterson's not bad. He makes a lot of tackles, but I mean, Diablo is like the quarterback of the defense. I mean, he wears the dot, coordinates the plays. It'll be interesting to see how Spillane works, but I think personally, I think Detroit's going to score about 30 points minimum. Like that's I think they're going to run it up on us. And at the beginning of the year, I thought we would have a chance coming into this game, like winning culture and whatever. We're not a winning culture. We have a losing culture. And now, it's just these team meetings, like, okay, they're not going to do anything. Like, let's just not get our hopes up. I mean, not to be, negative Nancy, but there's really like, I mean, just watch. Like, this game probably is over before it even kicks off. I mean, the Raiders are just so predictable. Like, how many years have we been through this? Like, for me, I've been through this for now since 2009. And for you, probably what, 2013?
Yeah, I started watching with Matt McGloin as under center.
Okay.
That's yeah,
Yeah, that was 13. And then for
yeah, the
me,
year before Carr.
I started watching when Jamarcus Russell was under center. So you can imagine how much shit I've been through already.
But yeah, I mean, this is a typical spot where we would lay an egg. Like the season's pretty much on the line. If you lose this game, 3-5 going into the trade deadline, like it's over pretty much. If you win, you're 4-4, right back in it, right? So this is the turning point in our season. If we win or lose, I think if we lose, it's going to be pack it in, tank the rest of the way through. Jimmy will get hurt, like you said. Aiden will come in. If we win, I think there's a slight chance if everything goes our way, because we're playing the Detroit Lions. I mean, they're the Lions at the end of the day. They got players, but they're the Lions. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be overly negative here. So, look, we're still just because we got a shitty coach, just because we got a shitty owner, doesn't mean our players can't go and shine. Max Crosby will get pressure. He'll be in the backfield. He'll light it up. So, like, it's got to be on the backs of our of Max
No,
Crosby.
you're 100% right, but I think like I just don't see it. Like I
Yeah,
mean honestly, like think about it. Like could you see us going out there and like, Monday Night Football on the road in Detroit, one of the most hostile places now, all of a sudden to play? I mean, Ford Field sells tickets for like $15. Like that place is gonna be sold out, decked in blue.
yeah,
And even if it was at Allegiant, it would be decked in blue. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it is. If it's
yeah,
home, we don't have home games this year. The only home game we had was in LA and we lost. Like
yeah.
it's just crazy how things have transpired so far this year. And I think you're right. I think you're right. I think if we win this game, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say if we win this game, we're gonna make the playoffs. If we lose this game, we're gonna miss the playoffs. Because think about it, what we have coming up. Like, let's go through our remaining schedule because this Detroit game, talking about it is not gonna change the outcome. I don't think personally. And if I had to pick right now, score prediction, I'd say 38-17 Detroit. I just don't think we're a good team. And I think last week really hurt everything. I think last week hurt my confidence as a Raiders fan.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And the sad part is we're not a good enough team to say, oh, looking ahead, we have the Giants and the Jets. Like, we're not even good enough to say, like, okay, those are guaranteed wins. Even though after watching their game, they should be. But we're just not good enough to say that, which is sad at this point in Josh McDaniels' tenure. But look, I mean, we predicted, I think, before the Bears game, that we would split between the Bears and the Lions. And so, like, we remember when we were 3-3, we said the next four games, if we go 3-1, what do we say, 3-1, then
Yeah,
we would be
three
six
one
and four.
next four. Yeah, yeah,
So we got to win. That would mean we got to win the
three
next
in a
three
row.
games.
Yeah, so at Detroit versus the Giants and versus the Jets. Versus the Giants, if you lose that game, the Giants are the worst team now, the new worst team in football. They scored 10 points today.
Yeah,
And they
I
passed for -9 yards. They passed for -9 yards passing. Tyrod Taylor got hurt, of course. Danny Dimes is already on IR, I think. And some random kid came in and threw for -9 yards.
I don't even think that's a win because we have to go up against Saquon Barkley. I don't know if that's we can't chalk that up as a win. I don't think we can. So I think the Jets game is 50-50. The Giants game, I think we have a slight. We'll be like 2 3 point favorites. And this game, I don't even know what the line is. Maybe we're like 9 10 point
Seven and a half.
underdogs.
It's 7.5.
I would put it at a higher line. I mean, I guess they just got blown out, but still. So look, even if we go 2-1 the next three, we're 5-5. You're right there. So this is a big game, and I think if we go up and lay an egg, like McDaniels, we keep saying it, like he should be fired. He should be fired. He should be fired. But it's getting like legitimate now. Like okay, fire him now. At this point, 3-5 going in, like if you just lay an egg, it's over. I think.
If you lose the next two games, the coach will be fired. And I don't think, I mean there's no way. Like I don't think Mark Davis is that stupid that if you like he got to smarten up for real. Like if you lose the next two games, like think about it. You're sitting at 3-4, 3-5, 3-6. Like the season is pretty much done because you still have to play Kansas City twice. Even though what happened to Kansas City today, I can't believe that. I watched some of that game
Yeah,
and wow, like how the hell they look that bad against Denver?
I mean Denver came to play. I mean I've been saying it. Russell Wilson. It's hard to know that they got blown out by 70 points. I don't know how that same Denver team got 70 put on them. And to go out and beat KC, like Russell Wilson, when we played him, he didn't look terrible, but I mean, to go out and beat the Chiefs is a big win for them.
I'll tell you
They're in,
how. I'll
they're
tell
in a
you.
better spot than us,
I'll tell
definitely.
you how because they have a good coach. They have a coach that has won a Super Bowl as a head coach. Our guys won 6 Super Bowls as an assistant and an offensive coordinator. Like
Yeah,
6 Super Bowls. I think that one outweighs the six.
yeah.
I mean, he
And they
was.
have and like you said, they have an owner too, the Walton Group, who
Yeah,
knows what they're doing. They come in, hire the right coach, clean house, and like our owner is not on their level
Yeah, he's a moron.
financially,
Yeah,
financially and vision wise. Like
and
he,
vision wise. And look at Denver now, like they got a good coach. They beat Kansas City. They won 2 games in a row. Now they go to Buffalo on Monday night next week, and then Minnesota on Sunday night at home, then Cleveland Sunday night at home, then at Texans. They could win easily 3 out of the next 4. So their season is not even done yet. Like they're easily could finish ahead of us in the freaking rankings. I
they
mean,
could, yeah.
this is just like they got an easier stretch coming up than we do. It doesn't end easy. They play the Chargers twice, they play Detroit, and they play us, which they never beat us. But I mean, there's just not much to say besides, buckle up. And
Yeah.
I
And the one thing I will say is please do not force feed Devontae Adams. Jimmy Garoppolo, please do not force feed the guy because whenever we do that, we always lose. Like we did that against Chicago. Like he complained, and the first like 5-6 passes of the game, Hoyer throws to Devontae every single time. That's
yeah,
not sustainable. Like Adams complains, okay, you're not throwing me the ball like I want greatness, this that. But we were throwing it around to Myers and the tight ends, and we were winning. And our offense was moving the ball. At least when I think our best offense was in the first half of the Patriots game. We were moving the ball, making plays,
at will.
and Adams wasn't a factor. He was a decoy. So yeah, throw to him, but you don't need to force feed the guy.
Yeah, but I also think the Pittsburgh game we lost because of bad coaching. I think right
Yeah,
there when he kicked the field goal when he went for it, I mean that was just stupidity, honestly. Like that was just pure stupidity. Like when you should have kicked the field goal, you went for it, and when you went for it, when you needed to go for it, you kicked the field goal. Like how dumb can you be? In that game, Devontae had like 15 catches for like 170 yards and 2 touchdowns.
yeah. I mean, he
Like
had all those. That's what I'm saying. He had all those catches, but in the second half of that game, we weren't moving the ball like until the very end of the game, where we had to come back at the end. But like the third quarter, we got completely shut out against Pittsburgh. Like I think we only scored 7 points the first 3 quarters in that game, and we were still feeding at it. That was before all the bullshit happened with McDaniel's field goal decisions. So like you're throwing in the ball, you're getting all these yards, but you're not. It's not equating to points. Like even the worst teams in the league, I forgot who it was today. Like Derek Carr put up 21 points in the first half today. We can't even do that in the whole game. It's embarrassing how bad our offense is. Like just put up 20 points, I'll be happy. Even if we lose like 38-20, I'll whatever, fine. Just put up 20 points. That's our goal for the
I
Detroit
don't
game.
I don't even think we'll do that, to be honest. I mean, their defense is really good. Detroit defense is good. And I don't think I I honestly see us putting up like 13 max. Like that's where I'd put the threshold is like 13. And I think we get blown out. And I have to go, now it sucks. I want to go home and watch the game with my dad. So it's like I have class from 2 to 3, and then I'm going home. I'm gonna have to sit in 2 hour traffic just to go home and watch the Raiders get their ass kicked. Like it's so it's so depressing. It's such a depressing ass thing.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. I just want to see how this team will respond. I think this is would you say this is the biggest game of McDaniels' tenure? I think it by far it is. Because after the showing last week, you need to the team has to show something. Like if they come out flat, I think McDaniels has lost the locker room.
Well,
So I think it's a huge game.
I think he's already lost the locker room, and I think that this game will kind of like be the outcome. Like, I think if he loses, there's a real possibility they could leave him in Detroit. Like they could fire him if they lose this game in ugly fashion. I mean, there's no way then anything, any meeting or anything can fix anything. It's just losing. It's just a losing culture. And once you have a losing culture, it's very hard to create a winning culture. And that's facts firsthand. I
Mhm.
know this. I mean, when you have a losing culture, it's very hard to win. And we've had a losing culture for the past 20 years. My whole life, we've had a losing culture. And I don't think, without the right guy, a winning culture is possible here. And I don't think under this owner, a winning culture is possible. I think Mark Davis is just senile. I don't think he knows what he's doing. And I think it's time to get someone else in there who's gonna, like the Walton Group bought Denver from Bolin family.
Yeah.
They Bolin family had the Denver Broncos like the whole time. Like they
Yeah,
won two Super Bowls there or three Super Bowls there. They had it for so many years. And even yet they had everyone's got a price.
yeah,
Everyone's got a price to pay. The Walton Group, Walmart, for God's sake, came in and bought the Broncos. And now they're slowly gonna fix things. They got Sean Payton. They're slowly gonna turn things around. So
yeah,
yeah, I guess we'll see. But anyways, guys, we appreciate the liking, the commenting, the subscribing. We appreciate everything. And we'll be getting videos out more frequently now. I know we took a like week, 10 days off, midterm
yeah,
midterms and Raiders losing doesn't, is a
yeah. Midterms ain't fun, guys. Yeah, like you said, midterms and Raiders losing are not a good mix.
toxic combination. So that shit on a toxicity report is very bad. So we do not recommend it. We do not recommend it. But yeah, we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to say appreciate all the love on the on that latest YouTube short and our latest video. We did some good numbers on that, so hopefully replicate the same on this one. But yeah, thanks for the support. New subscribers, thank you guys. But yeah, we'll catch you guys after the game.